All right, YouTube, what's up? Your boy Digital back at y'all again with another video, and today I'm here with my boys.
Hey, what's good, y'all? Krillin386 here.
And what's up? It's Mr. Freeman over here.
Yo, and today we're here with another video, and as you guys probably already have seen by the title of this video, why we don't need a XenoVerse 2. Now, disclaimer. Before we even start this video, I'm gonna go on ahead and get something situated from this video on up to future videos for certain topics and stuff like that. Okay, so look, this is a Dragon Ball Z game that I personally do not wish to have, that we personally do not wish to have, but let me get this straight to any of the developers and also Neko Bandai who may watch this video in the future. When we sit up here and say us three, or however many of us is going to be in the video in the future, when we sit up here and say that we don't want a certain game, that doesn't mean that we speak for the whole entire community as a whole. Now, if a vast majority of the community request a specific game, then take that game into consideration, and we'll also do specific videos on specific things that may need to be fixed if you make a sequel to XenoVerse per se, or the Battle of Z, stuff like that. So if in the last video we were talking about Raging Blast 3, if that doesn't get done and you make a sequel to XenoVerse 2 or Battle of Z, and you want to sit up here and push that out, at least let us know, so then that way we'll be able to make suggestions as to what needs to be fixed and what can be done for the next videos. But anyways, the whole gist of that little rant was just to say, or not rant, but that whole little piece was just to say that, okay, when we sit up here and say we don't want something, we don't speak for y'all, or we don't speak for the whole entire Dragon Ball Z community. You guys have your own free will, your own free mind, and sit up here and ask for what you want and stuff like that. So anyways, moving on. So the reasons as to why we don't need a XenoVerse 2, I guess I'll just go first and just hit these little points out the way. The main reason I feel like we don't need a XenoVerse 2 is because of the OP-ness of the created characters. And the main thing about the created characters were, yeah, a lot of people are going to sit up here and use this, this argument. They were like, oh, well, you were going to use your created character the most anyway. But at the same time, you don't know me. So at the same time, you could sit up here and make that inference, or, you can infer that. But at the same time, what if I do want to use a Dragon Ball Z character? I mean, what sense does it make for me to use one specific character, for days, weeks, months on end without, changing it to somebody else? Like, that gets stale pretty fast. And so, that's just one of the main things that I just didn't like. And it was because of the fact that, also tying into the OP-ness of the created characters was the attribute system. So, they had a whole bunch of health, or you could, make it that way. You can, apply certain stats to certain characters to make them more powerful and stuff like that. And it was like, okay, cool. And the unfairness came when you could, was to where you could do that, but you couldn't do it for the regular Dragon Ball Z characters because theirs were auto set. And I feel like maybe that's where XenoVerse went wrong. Instead of being able to auto set your created characters attributes, they manually did it. And so I feel like what would have been a better idea would have been, was just to auto set for the created characters as well. But we'll get into that. That's a suggestion for another time. We'll get in that in another video. Also, another problem was the RNG system, because of the fact that you could try your hardest on a mission to get a specific move or piece of clothing, and you wouldn't get it, or even a Z soul. And so, like, if I would get an S rank or a Z rank on the mission, I still wouldn't even have a chance of getting it. Like, I would probably have just as much chance of getting it as a F rank person, or a person who got a D or F on the mission and stuff like that. Also, Toki City caused a whole bunch of lag, even though the game or the lobby itself for Toki City was basically like a MMO type of thing, but you still have peer-to-peer connection. And so that's one of the main things that made the game very broken in a way, was because of the fact that the online was so terrible because of Toki City. It was so hot and full of people because the servers were steady making rooms and stuff like that. They steady had to make rooms for, multiples of people to join, and to hold the servers intact. And since it was so much strain on the servers for so long, and it's still going on to this day, a lot of people were having problems, making hit confirms and stuff like that, because of the fact that Toki City was so hot and on fire that the hit detection was way off and stuff like that. And so another thing was, the level up system. It took forever. That's basically the whole gist to that. And then, the Z characters, they didn't have as much opportunity to, to be as effective with combos as the created characters. That ties back into the, the OP-ness of the created characters and stuff like that. And, that's just one of the main things. And so the last little thing for me would be the customization for the created characters. And so one of the main things that I didn't like was that we could get certain costumes for certain characters, and some of them weren't in the game. And also at the same time, we couldn't change the color. One of the main things that Battle of Z did perfectly that was correct was that they introduced the system to where we could change the colors of the original Dragon Ball Z characters' costumes. And I feel like that was something that they should have did with XenoVerse. You know, we were able to get, like, let's say like a Nappa outfit, and we were able to change the color of it and stuff like that, even though it belonged to Nappa, but you can still tell it was a Nappa outfit, a Goku outfit, a Turles outfit, you know, etc., etc. And I feel like it would have been way better if we were able to, you know, to change the colors using the RGB system and not a color palette, because a color palette only limits us to a certain specific amount of colors, versus a RGB system, we can make it a specific color like we want it to be. And I feel like that was one of the main things too, was that the customization was very, very held back. Also, you had a whole bunch of the creative characters looking the same, because, you know, there weren't a lot of there weren't a lot of different customization options for the characters themselves. So like every 2 to 3 Majins and humans and Saiyans look just alike, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, those are just like some of the bigger problems with XenoVerse. And I feel like most of these problems that I've just named and listed, they won't be able to be fixed heavily, or they will still be a problem in the future. And that's just like my honest opinion. And I feel like a sequel would still wouldn't get it right, you know, per se. But I mean, you know, I guess it's still up in the air. But me personally, I still wouldn't want a XenoVerse 2, and that's just my honest opinion. So, Krillin, Mr. Freeman, how do y'all feel about XenoVerse 2 and all the topics that I just listed about it? Like, how do you, like, would you all want a sequel? And if you do, why? And if you don't, why not?
Well, me personally, I definitely don't want to see a sequel, and here's why. First off, Digital, a lot of the stuff you had said, I agree with 100%. A lot of those were constant problems that a lot of people that played XenoVerse, especially on a daily basis, had to put up with. Now, some of the stuff I'm going to bring up with anybody that's familiar with the player versus player, 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, etc., or Endless Battle, is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I remember seeing people constantly doing gravity impact and like special beam cannon or something, and then most of the time, not many people would throw a single punch. They would just constantly do ki blast. And
Right.
Their excuse would always be, is I'm a ki build. I'm like, and then they would say I'm a spammer for putting them in a combo. I'm like, you kidding me? I'm like, damn, Goku must, when he does Meteor Crash or whatever, he must be like a super spammer. And, you know, honestly, another thing I just want to say real quick, a lot of people, like what you said about the creative characters, like, the people that constantly use their creative characters were probably the main people complaining that the roster was small, but yet they set up and use their creative character the whole time. Like, seriously, where the logic? Like, put 2 and 2 together. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and pass that over to Mr. Freeman.
Well, reasons why I don't want to see XenoVerse 2, and I'm about to shit on this shit. Because first of all, XenoVerse is fucked up. It's pretty much like a beta. First of all, with the created characters, they're OP to the point where you can beat pretty much any DBZ character with them, because it's so much easier to play with a created character. And I mean a created character from every race, because all of them fought the same. It didn't matter which race you picked. So you couldn't even play. You could play as a regular Z character, but at the same time, there's a good chance of you getting your ass whooped, because the created characters were like way too flexible to the point where you could put them attributes points in any spot that you want to. Mm-hmm. But with the Z characters, their shit was already set, so you really couldn't do nothing. Mm-hmm. And then another thing, the lag was so bad. First of all, you could be trying to put somebody in a combo, and then somebody could fall right out of your combo. Let's say somebody is spamming against you, like somebody like do that Super Saiyan shit and they got unlimited ki, and then they do vanishing ball spamming, and like they just constantly throwing something, just constantly throwing the super or ultimate or some shit, and your ass keep getting hit. You finally get out of it, try to put them in a combo, and they fall out of it. That's how bad the connection is with XenoVerse, and XenoVerse, nothing was fair at all, and I just didn't have fun with that game, because I could be finally putting somebody in a combo and they fall out of my shit, and that's stupid. Like, I remember there was this one time, Krillin Digital and we was in an endless battle against, a couple players using their created characters, and they had a supposed melee super build, and they kept using Eva Rise Strike. And with us being near the ceiling, the dynamics of XenoVerse were like so damn stupid, we couldn't get out of the shit, and we just lost. Like, bam, like just like that. Or let's say, like Krillin said, them key builds, gravity, impact, special beam cannon, bam, I lost. Spamming an ultimate, bam, I lost. That is one of the main problems with XenoVerse, is the connection, the created characters, and how OP they are, and the stupidities. XenoVerse is just stupid to me. And then another thing is, like Digital said, the RGB system, because mostly everybody was looking the same, and I really didn't like that. Like, I really think like it should be more diverse when it comes to created characters and stuff like that. Like, it should more, like, they should feel like they're yours. But
Right.
every time you turn around somewhere, somebody is wearing the same clothes as you or looking just like you. I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody with an Ultimate Gohan wig. Like, that's
Boy.
another thing. Like, I'm being dead serious. And then the whole Toki City part and everything, it's like, I think it would have been much easier for you to fly or teleport places instead of having to walk all the way around the shit, because Toki City, it was actually pretty big. So that's what I have to say about that. And then another thing with the whole RNG system, like how it could take you possibly like 2 weeks to even get a damn shirt. Like, no, that shit should be made to where the higher grade you get, the more stuff you can. Like, the more stuff like you that'll be accessible to you. That's just stupid how you can even get a Z rank, but you won't get shit. Like, no, like that whole leveling up thing and whole attribute system, XenoVerse was just stupid to me. It was just stupid. That's all I have to say. Shit.
Hey, Digital, one thing I just want to go ahead and throw in real quick that
Go ahead.
I failed to mention. Now, one thing, because honestly, Roxas, I agree with you 110%. I'm going to be honest with you. I just think XenoVerse is garbage, but I'm going to just go ahead and say one more thing real quick, and this is definitely the reason I don't want a XenoVerse 2, adding on to what I had said, prior to what I'm about to say, is people would constantly use items. This was a huge issue.
That was another thing.
And anybody that played it can just say that this shit was annoying. Like, seriously, like, anytime I'm in player versus player, I'm like, alright, I can whoop this guy's ass. I'll whoop his ass like 18 billion times. Like, oh, you think you won, huh? Energy Capsule Z.
To be honest,
just whoop your ass again.
Who
Energy
allows healing
Capsule
capsules in a
L.
player match? Like, that shit don't make no damn sense. You could whip somebody and you think the match about to be over, and then with the connection being so bad, they could over here run around your ass, fucking your screen up, and then all of a sudden you can't catch them. You can't hit somebody when they're doing that Dragon Dash. So if they get far away from you, they can go ahead and use it. Well, no, it don't even have to be far away. They can use that capsule right in front of you, and you got to fight them again.
Exactly.
Hey,
And then it's so bad. And then it's so bad with the whole, like to me, I feel like the Dragon Ball Z characters are very, very stiff versus the creative characters. Cause see, like the creative characters
like themselves at
all. Like Whis is so trash on the game. Beerus is trash, even though those are the main characters that are supposed to have some of the best combos in the game when it comes down to at least Z character wise. And then like to me, I feel like the creative characters, they have a better chance at doing infinite combos than the Dragon Ball Z characters, which there shouldn't be infinite combos implemented into the game anyway. And I feel like the whole system with Dragon Ball XenoVerse is broken. Like the whole point of you teleporting behind somebody just by pressing X is weird to me, and by escaping out of a combo by pressing X again is weird to me because of the fact that it's too easy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. It's too damn easy.
Exactly, and this is the main reason why we said we wanted to Rage and Blast 3, because if you all remember Tenkaichi, in order to escape a combo or to even end up behind somebody, you had to press circle at the right time whenever they were about to do a heavy
Perfect
blow.
timing for that shit.
Or when they were about to do a punch you from the start. So like if somebody was about to punch you from the start, if you press circle in time, which is the block button, you would automatically teleport to the side or behind them, depending on what move it was. And so I feel like XenoVerse is just way too easy, and it's watered down even more so than Rage and Blast because it makes it so easy for you to the point to where a lot of people say it doesn't hold your hand when it comes down to combos, but then again it does, because all you have to do is just press one button and you can keep a combo going continuously and continuously and continuously. And it's like it's not cemented enough to the point to where there's a learning curve to the game. The only learning curve to the game is basically, okay, how do I put a nigga in the infinite, keep it moving after this? That's it. That's nothing. Anybody can pick that up. Like anybody can pick that up within the first day of playing the game, as long as you tell them, okay, if you want to keep a combo going after you send somebody flying, press X. That's it. Or A, or if you're on the Xbox One. And so then to me, I feel like XenoVerse is just way too easy, and it's a watered down Dragon Ball Z game, and plus it's off a modified Street Fighter engine, so therefore it's really chunky and lumped out, and it's like, yeah, it just doesn't play like a Dragon Ball Z game to me. So I mean, those are just some of the biggest problems that we have with XenoVerse. And I'm not saying that I don't want them to be fixed. I do, but I feel like at this point, with where we're at with XenoVerse and how the way that it is, I don't feel like there's any possible way for this game to be fixed. If I feel like the only way that they'll be able to fix XenoVerse and make a XenoVerse 2 is if they rename it to something else, because that's exactly what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to change this game up from the bottom on up, and they're going to have to change up so many things in order for this game to even be recommended or even be seen as a Dragon Ball Z game. Now, I know a lot of you out there want it, but like like I said before at the beginning of this video, we speak for ourselves. We don't speak for y'all. Y'all have your own opinion. If y'all want a XenoVerse 2, fine, go ahead. That's cool. And for those of you who don't, hey, you probably share the same opinions as we do, and you probably want that Raging Blast 3 and that Zenkai Battle Royale to come over here to America. So, you know, I mean, that's just basically about it with this whole, you know, XenoVerse 2 thing. And we wanted to get this video out the way, you know, just so we can clear up the air as to why we want Raging Blast 3 and not a XenoVerse 2, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you are probably wondering that. Oh, wait, what about XenoVerse 2? Well,
like, no, we don't want it. Come on, why would you want a sequel to a game where people fall out of your combos? Like, no.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure if Mortal Kombat had came out with a game where the people were falling out the combos, I'm pretty sure people would want a sequel to that.
Pissed off,
Hey, Digital, one thing I need to mention real quick about the items, at least. That stuff also opened up room for glitches and stuff, because I noticed that as soon as I would knock somebody out, they would do like a sensu, and basically it would glitch, and like I would be like frozen, and they would hit me, and I'd be like moving all slow and shit. That happened to us actually once, but that's what I'm saying. Just take out items. There's so much, like everything that Digital and Mr. Freeman said, I agree with 110%. Like there is just so much to be fixed. I don't even think XenoVerse is even like redeemable. There's no bringing it back. Like it's so much, you know. Like we can go on and on for days about what needs to be fixed. But anyway, Digital, continue what you were saying.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's about it. I mean, like I feel like the only way that they'll be able to even make XenoVerse 2 happen is if they scrap it. It's like scrap the whole idea and make a whole entirely new game. With the way that XenoVerse 1 was, it's too much stuff to be fixed. And then the way that they would have to fix it, especially with the online, the Toki City, and various other things, they would have to start from scratch and do something entirely different. I mean, but that's just our opinions on XenoVerse 2 and why we feel like we don't need it and stuff like that. And after this video, we'll be going back to Raging Blast 3 and doing other topics for Raging Blast 3, suggestions, and showing you guys exactly what's been going on with the whole concept art that Treevax has been working with and working on with the game. So,
because after this, we're pretty much done with XenoVerse. Like, XenoVerse is trash. Goodbye.
Pretty much.
Yo, my bad for interrupting you again, but one thing I just wanted to throw out there that I feel like we didn't mention yet is also, when you think about it, they went over the entire story of Dragon Ball Z, and including the Bardock and Broly movie. Like, so what the hell are they going to go over in XenoVerse 2? There's no story left.
I mean, it's not even just that. It's just the fact that during the story mode, we went and fought with and against certain characters that had other characters there that were supposed to be in the story but didn't make it into the roster. So I mean it's just a lot of stuff that this game was missing and that it doesn't have and that it needs in order for it to even be able to be considered a Dragon Ball Z game. Like we said from Jump Street, it doesn't even feel like a Dragon Ball Z game. It feels like a Street Fighter in the air type of game, like a floating Street Fighter game. It feels like when I'm playing with Goku and I throw a Kamehameha, I'm throwing some elongated Hadouken, and that's about it. Like it doesn't feel like nothing else but a happy-go-lucky broken Street Fighter game, and that's about it.
Strike Shoryuken.
Exactly, that's exactly what that might as well be. It's just with your head now. So I mean, anyways, people, I mean that's just been the whole XenoVerse video. We don't want to make this video too long. So I mean, if you guys don't want a XenoVerse 2, cool. If you do, cool. That's fine. I mean, you can have your own opinion. That's fine. And so with that, people, we'll catch y'all next time. Hopefully you guys are not take this to heart because it's just a fucking video game. Don't take this to heart, you fucking losers. But anyways, yeah, we'll catch you guys later on. Peace out.